We have just come to the end of a fantastic 48 hours, mate.
Very good.
I say we because it's myself, Steve, if you don't know me, Mark and Brad. And yeah, like I said, we've just finished 48 hours at Linear Fisheries. We were on the Tar Farm complex, Lake 8.
It was, yeah, my first time here.
Thoughts?
Loved it, actually. Yep.
Really sort of nice,
yeah, really
special
good
complex, isn't it?
It is. There's lovely fish to go at. Made us think time to time.
Which is dangerous, but
very dangerous.
No, it's exactly what you want when fishing, you know, put you to the test.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a flying trip. Had a couple of quick bites.
Yes.
And then...
So I suppose touching on that, so we've literally booked the swims. So we're on the smallest lake, which is, as I said, Lake 8. There are 8 swims.
There is.
So you've got 6 on the far side. We're on the opposite side, and there's just 2 pegs here.
Yes.
Which is 7 and 8. You're on the left side, a bit more open water. Brad's on the right.
Yes.
And yeah, a little bit more. Well, you've got a little bit of the open water, haven't you? And obviously all that margin line, which generally does produce quite a few fish. But a bit of an up and down session. Like I said, we had a few sort of quiet spells.
We did.
But started off initially quite well. So I mean, how, you know, we got in the swim.
We did.
And immediately sort of see a couple show.
Yep.
And you went with the sort of stealthy option of a couple of solids, really.
Yeah, so we watched the water for probably 15-20 minutes when we first got there.
Yeah.
There was some fizzing, there was some fish showing, but very long, not in our water.
Yeah.
So me and Brad flipped a coin for who got which swim.
Keeping it fair, both wanting the same side, which was that left-hand side, to be fair.
It was.
Yep.
So we got the kit out of the van, and I'd already made a couple of bags up before we went. So as there were fish, as there was fish fizzing, rather than thrash it to a foam or chuck the deeper out, me and Steve were quite impatient, I guess, a little bit. But as there was fish in the swim, we wanted to get on them. Yeah. Chucked a couple of solid bags to them, and then went about setting the swim up, really. To
be fair, I mean, we had a good idea of what to expect, because obviously we looked at the maps on the Linear website. So I mean, you had already printed one of those off, so we had a good idea of the depths. We knew we would be chucking in, you know, a bag into sort of 15-foot water, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. Obviously there were slightly shallower spots as you come up the shelf, but I mean, where they were showing was in the deeper bit. Yeah. You know, they could have been well up in the water, but we thought, you know, you've just turned up, there's fish showing, couple of solids whilst you set up, see what happens. Yeah. And within an hour, wasn't it?
Yeah, just within about an hour, the first rod went off.
Always nice. You know, I heard that beeping and I'm thinking, what's happening? It's actually Mark's left-hand rod doing this, sort of tapping around. And yeah, no, first one away, mate. So how big was that one?
I think it was 18.
So the smaller of the 2 first.
It was.
Straight back out there?
Yes. So we refreshed the baits, tied some more bags up, put them back on the same spots, and about another hour again, we had another run.
Was it the same spot?
It was same spot.
Yeah. So, no, same bait or different bait?
Same bait. Yeah. So Tutti Frutti wafter.
So Tutti wafters, mini combo in the bag, so like the perfect go-to standard.
Yep, and some oil, Tutti Frutti oil.
Okay, so
in the bag as well.
Plugged up as well.
Yep.
You know, for
just
the
that high attract. That's cause
to be fair, with that depth of water, you know, putting some food signal, you know, up in the layers is only going to help, isn't it? Because at the end of the day, you know, we're in the shallow part of the swim, and that's still 16 foot. So yes, the bag will go down. Yes, you will have obviously the natural attraction, the breakdown of the pellets as it happens over, you know, that 4 to 6 hours. But you put something like food liquids and oils in. Obviously, oil being very light, you know, those pimples are going to rise up in the column, and obviously did the job, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was
I was going to say 2 fish, and then we're thinking, this is easy. Yeah, this is it, isn't it?
That one was just a few ounces under 30, wasn't it, as well?
Yeah, that was actually a decent fish.
Our biggest fish of the session, actually.
Yeah. So second fish, biggest fish, which turned out to be, you know, throughout the session, but yeah, 2 quick bites through literally just being stealthy. Yeah. A couple of solids. Where did we go from there?
Downhill.
Well, it wasn't all downhill. The fishing just slowed a bit.
It did. So
Brad went, I think we should say that, you know, he went with an all and out, just found the spots, put out a lot of bait. So he went with like 3 kilo of like Munger mix, you know, some boilies in there, bit of a mixture, some 12mm seafood and some nut. Give him, you know, some. He's fished linear a lot. He has. He knows the basics, you know.
Yeah. If you want
bait and weight, you know, big hits, that sort of thing.
Kept topping it up every now and again.
Yeah. So, I mean, unfortunately for him, didn't have anything initially, did he? It's a bit quiet.
No, yeah, it was quiet for the first 24 hours for him.
Yeah. I think, did he lose one on the first night?
Yeah, he lost one on the first night.
Which was a bite off the spot, so you're thinking, it's going to kick in. And, normally it can at, any stage. But unfortunately, the first 24 hours for him were quite quiet. And to be fair, after those couple of bites, it was the same for us, really, wasn't it?
It definitely was. We didn't get another bite for probably 36 hours after that initial run. The afternoon, the night, the next morning went, got to lunchtime, there just wasn't anything happening, so me and Steve reeled the rods in, and because I hadn't been to Tar Farm before, we went for a walk around the other lakes.
There's a great opportunity, like you said, to have a look around at what it has to offer, and some incredible lakes, to be fair.
Definitely. So we walked around all the other lakes.
Spoke to a few people.
We did.
Same sort of thing, wasn't it?
It was.
I think it just sort of turned off a little bit, went a little bit quiet.
It was roasting hot that day as well, Steve, wasn't it?
It was.
It was
had
very
the
humid.
sun cream on and hid for as much of it as I could.
It was really hot. So
it was bad.
We got back after the walk, felt a bit more refreshed.
Definitely, mate.
So I leaded around for a little bit, found 3 nice spots, fishable spots. Decided to do a bit more like Brad was doing, a bait and wait. So put 3 rigs out, spotted quite heavily over all 3. And the deal was we were going to sit back and wait for the next few hours and see what that brought. So we had our evening meal.
We did.
And as we were having our evening meal,
was the Thai kitchen on the first night? Or was that the second?
No,
it was the first one, wasn't it?
Second night.
Second one.
So
I jumped tonight, but that was my standout meal. That's why I got excited, didn't I?
So we were sat having our food, and a fish just topped at distance. Followed by another one, and Steve and myself, we looked at each other. And although we'd an hour before that put all this bait and everything else out, we brought one of the rigs in, tied on a 12-foot zig, cast to the showing fish, and within an hour we were back on.
Definitely.
And we put it back out.
Mark says we put out this bait. I was just watching, to be fair. So I took the easy route. But I mean, to be honest, we had a plan. We nicked a couple of fish and it just went quiet.
It did.
So we're like, we put the effort into, you did find the spots, and like you said, everything was perfect, and the bait was there, the rigs went out, it was absolutely spot on, and you think, we're ready for the night now. That's it. And like you said, I'm in the show, and you've got 2 choices. You can act on it, or you can stick with what you've just put all the last couple of hours of time and effort into, leaving it out there and hoping for the best. But like you said, you changed 1 rod.
We changed 1 rod over, so we had a run on it within an hour again. Put that back out. And what we did then was we brought the other 2 rods in, put all of them on zigs, threw them out. 30 minutes later, we were into another one, so a mid-20. So we stuck to the zigs.
It was 3 on that. Was it 3 you had?
So we had 2 initially.
2 initially.
And then there was about an hour and a half, 2 hours. So just before midnight, the rod went again. So we had another one. Nothing else through the night. Woke up in the morning. It was a little bit overcast. Nothing showing.
No.
So we pulled the zigs in, put bottom rigs back on, put them on the spots that we'd fed up the day before. But as we were packing up, eagle-eyed Steve spotted a fish porpoising where they had been the night before.
So put back on the show again.
Even though we were in the process of packing up, all 3 rods were changed back over to zigs, back out there again. Pretty much within 10 minutes, we had a fish, which I lost at the net.
It happens on zigs. So you can get a lot of
12-foot zigs can be tricky.
Hook holds and stuff aren't always the best, depending on how they take it and how confident they are. And obviously, at the end of the day, 12-foot zig, yes, but we're fishing that in 16-foot plus of water. You can only imagine what this zig is doing with the toe and stuff as well. Presentation isn't always going to be at its best, and hook holds, sometimes come at a cost. But like you said, unfortunately, dropped one of those. But
then within half an hour, we had another one, and the final fish of the session, so another 20. So I ended the session with an upper double, 5 20s. One just a few ounces below, but the size really didn't matter. They're pretty fish. First time on the venue.
It's fantastic.
Felt we worked pretty hard.
Definitely.
Got a reward in the end. Brad kept beating, and I just don't think the fish were in front of him in any big numbers. No. He did have a couple of fish.
Yes, yeah, no, he did. I mean, I think he had like 4 or 5 bites, something like that. Yeah. So I mean, you know, there were a few fish that moved in over at one stage, but it's just one of those trips. You know, sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't across the bait. Yeah. And to be honest, you know, if we would have stayed on the bait, would we have had bites? You know, probably not. But, no. You know, it's one of those cases that, you know, despite all the effort that went into positioning the rods perfectly, if we wouldn't have changed the zigs, we wouldn't have had that hit.
No, we wouldn't.
You know, a couple on the bag straight away because of the stealthy approach. There was no lines there, there were no anglers there before. It was nice and quiet, nicked a couple, perfect start, and then, yeah, just completely fizzled out. But I think without that, watching the water like, you know, a hawk, being able to adapt to that, yeah, I think definitely made the most of it.
Because we were sat, you know, we couldn't, if we were sat any closer to the water, we'd have been in it, wouldn't we? We just sat there watching that water. One of us was watching the lake the whole time, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, despite not catching over bait, there was still, you know, the bait spots were still topped up.
Yeah.
You know, every few hours there was more bait going in, and it wasn't 3 on one spot, there were 3 different spots. You know, one just at the front of a cliff edge that dropped right off, and a couple out on one to the far point, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was a sort of an ongoing thing. We did see some fish there, but unfortunately just, you know, didn't pay off with any bites, but it's one of those things it very much could have done. But I think, you know, what I would sort of look back on is, yeah, just being quick to change to what we saw, really, despite not wanting to. Despite being incredibly tired, hot and bothered, you know, sometimes you've just got to, again, go that extra mile, and I think without doing that, I don't think we would have had, mate.
No, I don't think we would. No, it was good.
It was all 12 foots that did it. So was it blacks?
It was black foam.
Black foam, obviously beetling. Was it beetling the black?
Beetling and black,
yeah,
it's my favourite on zigs, yeah.
I normally use, to be fair, the seafood one, but yeah, no, the beetling and black, it was the first sort of flavour combination we had done and introduced into like the beetling range. And yeah, no, it's been like devastating ever since. Like you said,
the almond, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, no, they're the sort of older school classics, if you like, but yeah, no, the beetling and the black is, proven.
But yeah, it was a great trip, and it's a lovely venue.
I look forward to getting back, mate. I'm, you know,
me
checking
too.
the calendar to see when we can sort of next book in, mate, to be fair. But good session, good first trip, mate.
Definitely good session, yeah.
I'm not sure if we're going to try one of the other lakes on the complex or go back to that one. The trouble is, it's like I want to really sink my teeth into one venue and sort of learn it, because as we were going away from it, I'm like, if we have another 24 hours, you know, what could have we sort of learned, take away and, you know, apply to it? We weren't on loads of fish, you know, it was hot, like we said, you know, there's a lot of fish up in the far end. We had a look round, we could see them in the bays and stuff like that. But yeah, no, the zigs came to the rescue, I think, mate.
Yeah, but with the tar farm as well, you book it. You can book it before you go. Yeah,
definitely.
So on the Go Catch app.
Yep. You know that you're going to get your swim. I know sometimes, you know, the watercraft you don't know, but when you look at the conditions, where the wind's going to blow, like I said, Linear have already done the hard work for you with the maps. You know, the swims are well spaced. You can see what you're going for, and
almost all the swims you can drop your kid off very close as well.
and even at the end of the day, when you go for the watercraft draw, once you're there and those fish move, well, your watercraft was great to start with, but you know, fish are you know, wild creatures and they move. So even if you're not on fish to start with, they move so quick. You've got a chance in most swims in any 24-hour period, haven't you? So, you know, I'd happily go and fish any of those lakes in most swims most of the year round, mate. So,
but it was just
look forward to getting back there.
Yeah, flicking through the tactics again. You know, solid bags were king at first. Yeah, we thought maybe that Ronnie's, because it's quite weedy, Tar Farm 8. There's a bit of weed in there, and it does have some cliff face drops. So we thought maybe some pop-ups over bait was the way to go. But on our session, zigs were king.
100%, and it's something that we take everywhere.
Yeah, just keep switching. I think you know, if it's not happening on something, even if it's worked 100 times before,
doesn't matter.
Just keep open-minded, I think. And
every day is different, and like you said, if you've got to be willing to, you know, chop and change, and that's what we took away from that session. And I think, you know, it doesn't always pay off. You know, sometimes it goes against you, but you know, at the end of the day, we reacted on it and it worked. So
yeah, and that's why we want to go again, isn't it? Really, to just test the theory, see if it works again.
I mean, Brad, previous trip, he took one of his mates out, Brian, and they had a mega hit.
Yeah,
doing
they
exactly
took the place
the
apart,
same
didn't they? Yeah.
So albeit they had the two same swims as well, but different day, different week, different weather.
Yeah.
Same tactics, zigs and beetling, 12-footers, and absolutely destroyed it. So timing obviously plays a massive part, but the tactic. Yeah, walking away, a couple of stealthy bags, zigs and beetling. So
yeah,
better book the next session, mate.
Definitely.
We shall. I think that's it.
Yeah,
pretty much leave it there. Other than the Thai food mark that we ordered from Linear. Finishing note, fantastic.
Yeah, delivered to the swim.
Yeah, Ian brought it round. So yeah, if you're one for takeaways, give it a
definitely worth a go. There's really good options on there as well. It's not just all Thai food. There's burgers, fish and chips.
If you like the traditional stuff, but
yeah, it was great service.
Venture out and try it.
Yeah, definitely, and we'll hopefully see you on the banks.
We shall see you soon.